This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Michelle Chamberlain.
And I'm Bill Bryant. It's so good to have you with us on WKYT This Morning, Wednesday, Hump Day, April 13th.
Now at 6 o'clock, Kentucky lawmakers must pass a budget or risk a partial government shutdown. We're live in Frankfort, where negotiations are set to resume this morning.
Also on WKYT, a third UK student has been arrested, accused in a deadly Lexington robbery.
And find out why a Kentucky arena is being recognized by a national magazine.
We have the frost advisory in effect until 9 a.m. this morning. We have those temperatures in the 30s outside. As you step out the door, you'll need that light coat by the afternoon. A much nicer feel than yesterday. About 5 to 8 degrees higher at 62, but we get in the 70s very rapidly. I'll show you that in your forecast coming up.
All right, and let's get the early crowd right up to the minute on the news.
It's down to the wire for lawmakers in Frankfort. The state constitution requires the 2016 legislative session to end by Friday.
Congress has to pass a budget in Washington every year, and of course here in Kentucky, it's up to the state legislature to do that, or potentially risk a partial government shutdown. We've seen that at the federal level. Nobody wants to see that at the state level. WKYT's Mark Barber is live in Frankfort for us this morning, where budget talks will be resuming this morning.
Good morning, Bill. Lawmakers will start meeting again at 11 this morning to take another swing at striking a budget deal. House Speaker Greg Stumbo says it has been very difficult for Democrats to sign off on a budget because he says this is the worst proposal he has seen from a governor in his 35 years in the Capitol. Governor Matt Bevin is striking back. He says that if lawmakers do not pass a budget by the end of the legislative session on Friday, the blame will rest squarely on Stumbo's shoulders. While the House and the Senate have finally agreed on Bevin's cuts to higher education, the sticking point is now the amount of money that the state should put toward its pension shortfall. So how much time do lawmakers really have to pass a budget? It's estimated that it takes about 30 hours to print the document after it is approved. If lawmakers are going to have adequate time to read over a budget on Friday, they would likely have to strike a deal, at the very latest, tomorrow afternoon. If the week ends and there is still no budget, Bevin says he will not call a special session. The governor says House Democrats would be responsible for the partial government shutdown that would happen on July 1st. So what could that look like? We're taking a look at the extensive list of critical agencies that could be affected, coming up on WKYT News at 6:30. Live in Frankfort, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you very much. Wait and see. And this morning, Governor Bevin is responding to criticism from presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. The Democratic frontrunner called Bevin's executive decision to immediately cut funding from higher education wrong and possibly illegal. Kentucky Attorney General Andy Beshear is suing the governor over the order. In a statement, the governor said Clinton's criticism is a way of distracting Kentucky voters from her remarks that she would put coal companies and coal mines out of business. Clinton has since distanced herself from statements about the coal industry. Kentucky's presidential primary, by the way, is coming up next month.
New this morning, a Central Kentucky family is without a home after a fire in Nicholasville. The Jessamine Journal says the owner of the home at West Brown and South 3rd Streets called 911 after hearing a loud noise near the water heater. By the time crews arrived, smoke was pouring out of the home and the fire was traveling through the walls. No one was hurt, but firefighters say the home is a total loss. A GoFundMe page has been started for that family. A third suspect will be in court today in connection to a deadly shooting here in Lexington. Police arrested 19-year-old Alex Farrell last night. They say he, along with Jaden Whalen and Nicholas Coraci, are charged with robbery. All three are freshmen at UK. Now, police say the three men, along with James Gordon, planned to rob a man during a drug deal early Saturday morning on Woodland Avenue. When one of them pulled out a weapon, the man they were meeting shot Coraci and Gordon. Gordon later died. Police say the shooter is cooperating and he has not been charged.
For the first time in more than a week, attorney Eric Kahn is not waking up in a jail this morning. A federal judge allowed the Eastern Kentucky lawyer who is accused in a multi-million-dollar federal disability scheme to return home while he awaits trial. Kahn had to use his lavish home in Pikeville to secure his bond. The judge also ordered him to wear a GPS tracker, surrender his passport, and avoid contact with anyone involved in the case. Khan's trial is scheduled to start in June. Thousands of convicted nonviolent felons in Kentucky are getting a second chance. Governor Matt Bevin signed House Bill 40, which allows people convicted of nonviolent felonies to have their judgments vacated. But those felons have to pay $500, wait 5 years after completing their sentences as well. At least 62,000 convicted felons in Kentucky will be able to take advantage of the law.
Deputies in Laurel County say they found a woman taking care of her children while she was drunk. Now, working on a tip, police say they went to a home on Taylor School Road where they found Tammy Martin and her 2 children. Deputies say she was under the influence, and when they went to arrest her, she tried to kick and bite an officer. She's facing several charges this morning. Police in Mount Sterling are asking for the public's help in identifying a thief suspect. Police say this woman was involved in a theft at Crackle Barrel on 2 separate occasions. She was seen getting into a silver extended cab pickup truck. Repair work for hundreds of Mercer County residents without gas services continues this morning. Atmos Energy says it's trying to restore service to 1,500 people in Harrodsburg. Now, to fix the issue, crews say they need to enter customers' homes to relight and cycle all natural gas appliances. The company says crews worked up until 11 o'clock last night. Now they will resume repair work starting at 6:30 this morning.
The time is 6 minutes after 6 on WKYT, and the KFC Yum Center has been named the 8th largest venue in the nation for ticket sales. Polestar magazine also ranks the Yum Center as the 22nd largest venue in the whole world. The center has sold more than 100,000 tickets this quarter. That does not include U of L sporting events or the NCAA basketball tournament games that were hosted at that Louisville venue.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have that frost advisory until 9 a.m. outside. That goes for everybody. If you're watching this morning, you're under that frost advisory. You may have to scrape it off your windshield. And look, I didn't have it this morning. The reason being, temperatures were not cold enough this morning to actually reach that frost potential. It's now 5 through about 9 a.m., so we were already starting to get in there, and those temperatures are already starting to take a dive, too. So just keep that in mind as you're walking out the door. Early this morning, look at these temperatures. They are pretty chilly. We're sitting there in the 30s, mid-30s for most locations. There are a few spots that we actually do hit those temperatures just around freezing. So not only are we looking at frost, but we're also looking at a little freeze potential in some spots. Danville, and then work your way back toward Mount Sterling, Winchester, my friends there in Clark County. Go down the Mountain Parkway. Temperatures are well above freezing down the Mountain Parkway, but still frost, especially in those valley regions, is a possibility. London Corbin area, Livingston, go off into Mount Vernon, Crab Orchard, back toward Dunville and Liberty and Casey County. Good morning to you guys, and also Adair County, Columbia. Looking good this morning, but it is very cold. We get into your afternoon, 62 degrees. It's about a 30-degree swing, so we're going to see a lot of sunshine. Winds coming in from the south, and that's going to help us out. But that's very light, 5 to 10 miles per hour, so it's a really nice day. It's about 5 to 8 degrees higher than where we were just yesterday. And yesterday I actually had short sleeve shirt and also some shorts on outside, running around with the little guy. So it wasn't that bad. It was still on the cool side, but it wasn't that bad. It gets much better today. So here's the breakdown. Until 9 a.m. we have that frost advisory. The chance of rain we see in the forecast is only a slight chance of rain. It's going to be on Thursday. Maybe a stray shower. I'm definitely not confident in that if we're putting it at 20%, but southern half, that's where we're confident that you could actually see a stray shower or a sprinkle. 70s are back in the forecast. No doubt about that. We're going to be seeing temperatures not just 70 to 73. We're talking mid to upper 70s and maybe even squeezing out an 80-degree reading as we get closer towards your Sunday off into Monday. Really, really good air heading our direction. It's going to feel more like May than any other month. And we've only hit 65-plus degrees twice this month, only 2 times within almost 2 weeks. And looks like we're going to do it in the upcoming days, not so much today. But that's all right.
We're looking forward to it. And if people want to come out and meet you and Chris Bailey and Jim Caldwell, they can.
4 p.m. to 7 p.m. in Richmond, not Richmond Road, but in Richmond at the Kroger down there. We'd love to see you guys. We're going to program some weather radios and just have fun. I mean, you put us three together.
Oh my goodness, I cannot imagine.
Never know.
Sounds like a good time. So each morning we bring you weather and traffic together. Here's Officer Don with a look at what's happening on the roads this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, we get to start off with no collisions, so that's always great news. And we just checked inbound Richmond Road, also Tate's Creek, and even Nicholasville Road. Past Man o' War is a straight shot toward campus. Let's get a look outside. We'll give you an overall view of traffic flow this morning in real time, and no red popping up, which is the best thing that we're dealing with as far as traffic flow goes. On the Interstate 75 north and southbound looks good as well. Drive times were in good shape coming in from Nicholasville at 14 minutes, from Georgetown at 16, and from Paris just 18. Now back to you.
All right, Don, thank you very much, and everybody looking forward to these nice improvements in weather. It's going to be nice the next few days.
There's going to be a lot of people out and about,
Yeah.
I do believe.
It's good to have you with us this morning, 6:10 on your Wednesday on WKYT This Morning.
How the White House is working to combat the Zika virus, which officials say is scarier than first thought.
And find out why the University of Kentucky wants a temporary road closure to become permanent. Hey, good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday. It's 6:14 right now. All right, it's a busy street that runs right through the heart of campus, and that is one reason why the University of Kentucky now wants to make a temporary closure of Rose Street permanent.
Rose Street has been closed between Columbia Avenue and Hughlett Drive for a year because of construction on campus. As WKYT's Caitlin Center explains, UK is also asking that other streets be closed. She's at our live desk this morning to explain. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. We know new information this morning about potential permanent road closures at UK's campus. Tuesday, UK leaders went in front of the Urban County Council. Now, according to our news partners at the Herald Leader, not only do officials want Rose Street permanently closed between Columbia and Hughlett, they want others closed too. The stretch of Rose between Columbia and Hughlett has been closed for the last year. It's been closed since July of 2014 as part of the construction of the new academic science building. UK officials want the section closed permanently, saying it will help keep people walking safe and reduce the number of accidents involving pedestrians. At the meeting, officials said that the stretch of roadway gets a high volume of pedestrian and bike traffic and actually hinders vehicular traffic. The closure allows traffic on Rose Street from Columbia Avenue to access parking on Funkhauser. Now officials want the city to consider Hilltop and Woodland Streets as well. The university wants Rose closed permanently in time for the opening of that new science building this fall, but the city wants to consider the closure of all three streets at the same time. At the live desk, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
All right, Caitlin, and the city has rejected requests to close Rose Street on the campus before, so we'll see what happens. Well, President Obama is set to sign a House-approved bill giving financial incentives to companies that develop treatments for the Zika virus. The development comes as a top U.S. health official has warned the administration that the virus is scarier than first thought. The president originally sought almost $2 billion to combat the growing threat, but says the measure is a small step forward.
Republican House Speaker Paul Ryan is putting to rest any rumors that he could become the party's presidential nominee at a contested convention. His declaration came as GOP frontrunner Donald Trump continued to rail against the establishment's nominating process. Trump and Democrat Hillary Clinton hold double-digit leads over their rivals in New York, which holds its crucial primary on Tuesday. The Texas 19-year-old, who was a teen, killed 4 people in a drunk driving crash, could find out today whether he will get jail time. Ethan Couch was given 10 years probation in juvenile court for the 2013 crash after his lawyers argued that coddling from his wealthy parents made him irresponsible. Then the so-called affluenza teen and his mother fled to Mexico last year after a video showed him possibly violating probation by attending a party where there was alcohol. NBA superstar Kobe Bryant is gearing up for his final game tonight in Los Angeles. Bryant announced in November that this season would be his last. Tonight's game will wrap up an immensely successful 20-year career for the 37-year-old. He won 5 championships with the Lakers and became the 3rd all-time scorer in total points. And the Warriors also looking to surpass the 95-96 Bulls tonight for the best record ever.
Yeah. What a career for Kobe Bryant. All right, and best of luck to him in the future. Coming up on 6:18, it might get a little easier to travel with young kids in the future. The Senate added an amendment to an FAA bill that requires airlines to allow parents to sit with their children at no extra cost. The move comes as additional fees for premium seating on flights make it harder for families to reserve seats together. The amendment also requires airlines to let pregnant women pre-board aircraft. About 40,000 Verizon workers along the East Coast walked off the job this morning. Union leaders say the company wants to freeze pensions, ship jobs overseas, and make layoffs easier to do. Verizon says they have contingency plans in place and the customers should not be affected. More Americans are trading in their car keys for bike locks. A new report from the Department of Transportation shows there are now 46 bike share systems operating in the U.S. with more than 2,600 bike sharing stations. Since 2010, bike share sites have popped up in more than 30 U.S. cities, and riders have taken over 36 million bike share trips. Google wants to help you find some me time, whether it's just to chill out or meditate or do yoga, whatever you want to do, your thing. A new feature on Google Calendar will ask you about what type of goal you have. It will look at your schedule and find the best time to do it. If a conflict comes up, Google will automatically reschedule it, which would require a lot of rescheduling for me.
They would say, go back to bed.
Right.
WKYT this morning is just getting started. It's a positively doggy-dog world. How one woman is making money catering to man's best friend.
You know, it's pretty chilly this morning, but it does get better this afternoon. Much better in the days to come as we see the 70s in the forecast. Any rain, though? I'm going to talk about that coming up next.
All right, welcome back into WKYT this morning. 6:23 is the time on your Wednesday. We're glad you're with us this morning. And
Mike is funny. I can't help but laugh at him.
Whatever this is in the way
Oh,
here.
sorry.
Kombucha.
Mike is telling me a joke as we're going on camera. Anyway, back to the news.
Yes.
Kentucky lawmakers must pass a budget or risk a partial government shutdown.
And that's what's trending at this hour. Governor Matt Bevin has vowed not to call lawmakers back to Frankfort should they fail to approve a 2-year operating budget by Friday. That adds pressure on lawmakers. Bevin said he would not reward lawmakers' inability to do their jobs by paying them more money.
19-year-old Alex Farrell is the third UK student to be charged in a deadly weekend robbery in Lexington. Police say he and 3 others planned to rob a man early Saturday morning during a drug deal. The robbery victim claims he shot and killed James Gordon in self-defense. He has not been charged. Farrell will be arraigned this afternoon.
It's the start of a beautiful run of weather. Finally, here's meteorologist Micah Harris.
Finally is the word, because we haven't really felt that in the past 12 to 13 days. We're going to get into this afternoon. We'll still be right around average, but it's still below that 65-degree threshold that I like to talk about, because 65 plus is actually a really nice feel. We've only hit that twice so far this month. It's only 13 days in. And once we hit the afternoon, it's chilly this morning. It looks pretty good. You got to remember that frost advisory is in effect, but this afternoon we go from the 30s to the 60s pretty quickly. It's a pretty good day. It's 35 degrees this morning with that frost out and about. Some spots even around that freezing mark at 32 in Danville, Bradfordsville. Make your way into Lebanon and Marion County. Springfield, good morning to you guys. Mackville, and also head back towards, say, Junction City in Boyle County. Washington, Boyle County, you're right around 32 degrees. So we get into your afternoon, 62, a much nicer feel in store. We're about 5 to 8 degrees higher than where we were yesterday. Yesterday wasn't bad. It was still on the cooler side of things, but it gets a little bit better today. And then we focus on the next few days is that really, really nice feel comes flying on in, and even feeling like May. Guys, we're going to talk about those temperatures, how high we go, coming up.
Okay, thank you so much. 6:25 is the time this morning. A group of United Airlines employees in Texas showed off their strength during a tug-of-war match.
I'd like to see you and Micah do this. The employee's opponent, a 737 airliner. The man versus plane tug-of-war was part of a fundraiser for March of Dimes. Employees split into groups and competed in pulling the airliner. The contest was held at the Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston, Texas.
All right, they did very well considering the engines were off. Right.
You and Mike are funny today.
They probably couldn't win if it was if they, did that.
So there's
All right.
a food truck in downtown Seattle that's literally gone to the dogs.
It has. The Seattle Barkery caters to canines and their owners in the Seattle area dog park, as well as in office building parking lots, farmers markets, private events. The owner unleashed some popular items that include bacon pup cakes, mini cheesy donuts, pumpkin pretzels, and peanut butter cookies.
All of our treats are soft. All of our treats aren't, filled with things that you can't pronounce.
They're all for dogs.
Well, okay. Starting a new business has been rough, though. Ford says that Seattle's dog-friendly reputation and well-established food truck scene has made for a positive experience, though. So they've had a good time. Yeah, treats for the dogs.
There you go. When WKYT This Morning returns, Donald Trump is returning to Kentucky. Why the GOP presidential frontrunner is coming to the Commonwealth, coming up at 6:30.
All of our top stories are on the way, and tonight's Powerball jackpot is $184 million, and Friday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $80 million. Thanks for being with us. WKYT This Morning will be right back.